Hello, this is Chodaros, and today's tutorial will be on this super awesome, totally love it design. It's called the ChriMar Bracelet, and this was designed by Loomer from Norway on Instagram. How sweet is she that one, she has all of this insane creativity, but two, she named it after me and MS Loom. So if you are a follower of ours, my name is Christy, so the Chri, C-H-R-I, is for me, and MS Loom is Margot, which is M-A-R at the end, so ChriMar. So she is, Loomer of Norway is such a sweetheart for naming it after us. So this design will require 2 jewelry chains, like this. So they need to be flat, so they need to be cup chains, so you know when your links are laying completely flat. And we're going to do this stitch through the chains. That's going to be our first step. So you'll need two about 32 links in length, so we will do that step next. And you can add beads or you don't have to add beads. And you really don't even have to add a chain if you don't want to. You can actually just make a single chain out of rubber bands, which will take the place for the jewelry chain and still do the same stitch. So you actually don't need any jewelry at all to make this. But as we all know, bling is our thing, so we do add some bling. You'll need a double-ended crochet hook if possible. If not, regular crochet hook will work just fine. I used a 5.0 that fits through my chain, and some beads. We're going to bead on every other section. Okay, so before we get started, I wanted to show you, this is from MS Loom. This gorgeous watch, this won second place in my Bling for Breast Cancer contest. I actually sent this watch face to her last year just as a friendly gift, and here, look what she did with it. And the best part is she put a closing on it, a magnetic closing. Look at this. It is absolutely gorgeous. So when you put it on your wrist, it automatically closes. So I have to wear this. It's absolutely stunning. I wanted to show all of you how proud I am of her for all of her wonderful new creations as well. Okay, let's get our supplies and we'll get started. Okay, so we want to have 2 chains, approximately 32 links in length, and we're going to make the first step, adding the bands through the links. So I already have mine completed. And so my chain is gold, and then I use the Persian brown and the LE black for my colors. So let's see. This one is just a little bit short, but I'm going to add a clasp to the end of mine, so all will be good. So we want a flat curb chain. And how we know it's a curb chain, excuse me, their links aren't twisted. We know it's a curb chain because it will lay completely flat like that. Okay? And as far as the size of the chain, different chain sizes can be used, but this one in particular will actually fit a loom hook through it. A lot of the chains that I use won't. So if your chain will not fit a loom hook, a size 5.0 crochet hook usually does the trick. So for this part, you don't even need a loom hook in the aspect of putting a band through, because you can take a band and just squeeze it and put it through the link. So I'm going to use the Rainbow Loom prototype hook because I love it. So we'll do this one real quick to show you. So we want to work on the side of the chain. Okay, we don't want to work with it facing us. We want to work to the side. And I like to work down, so gravity is our friend, so it keeps our links in line. So you want to take one band and pull it through that first link like that. And then what we want to do before we close is we want to bring our hook down and stick it through that next link like that, and then connect our band. Okay? And so after you have that, then you can take your next band that goes through the first loop, then it goes through the chain, through the last loop, and then we continue before we close up. We go down to the next link in line, and then we close it up. Excuse me. So then we grab our next band, and again it goes through the band, through the loop, through the chain, and through second loop, and then we take our hook down, put it through the next link of the chain, and then connect. Okay? And then again, our next band goes through the loop, through the chain, through the second loop. Before we close up, we come down to the next link, and then we close it up. Okay? Let's go a little bit faster. It's pretty simple. Through the loop, through the chain, through the loop, down. We've done this before. Imagine that the jewelry chain is a single chain, and we've done designs like this. So never close up until you have the next jewelry link on your hook, and then we close up. And you see, like, I take my hand and I hold what we've already done up so I can make sure that my links are straight. I go through, down, and then close it up. So you want to keep all of those links in line. So when you turn it to where it's the links are facing you, that's when you see all of your teardrops. Okay, so I'll do a couple more. Like that. Okay. So when you reach the last link, so just imagine that this one here is our last link, then you would just simply take another band and just pull it through. Okay, like this one here. So it would be like that. You'd have the last link on your hook, and then you pull a band through all three, and then that will close it up like that right there. And then that's whenever, excuse me, you would add your C-clip or any type of clip. All right, so we want to have 2 of these done. So if you need to pause, go ahead and pause your video. And we'll make sure that we have these 2 same length as your wrist. But I'm going to go ahead and go forward since mine are complete. So these are the beads that I'm using. They have the LE black through. And I was trying to maybe go for like not a zebra, but maybe an effect like that. So we want to do a standard 8 loop setup on our hook before we start integrating these chains. So I'm going to start out with my brown. Okay, so we do our cap band and we pull that band through. Before we connect, we grab this part of the cap band and then we capture the end. Make sure those two stay in line. And then we want to pull that new band through those 2 loops, making sure that cap band stays back. And then we want to pull the last loop, close it up. Then we want to do that one more time, pulling our new band through the first 2 loops, recapturing the last loop, closing up. So then that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we want to turn our hook and do the same on this side. So we take this first band off, grab that second end of the cap band, and close it back up. New band goes through the first 2 loops, recapturing that last loop, closing it up. And then one last time through the first 2 loops, recapturing the last one and closing it up. So then that gives us our standard 8 loop setup. So now we want to take a band and we want to put it through these middle 4 loops there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my brown color. I'm going to pull it through all of my loops except the last 2. And then I want to leave these 4 center loops on and then just recapture the last 2 loops and pull them out to the end. So then that brown loop goes to the center like that. All right, once we have this is when we can start integrating our chain. So we want to start on the end where we have our clip, which is usually we start at the clean end, but we're going to start this end here. So we don't want to grab this first loop here that's near our clip. We want to start with the second because we have so much on our hook already in order for it to show the proper length when we're finished. Okay, so I did mine every other color, so hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to kind of see. So I want to grab that black band that's in between that brown teardrop. So I need to dig my hook down in there and grab that black band. So you want to work through the face of your chain, and then there's the side. So we want to work where there's the teardrops. All right, so we want to put that 1 loop on our hook, and then we want to take our next color, which I believe I'm going to stick with like I'm going to stick with glitter gold. And we want to pull that new band through the band that was through our chain. Then we want to pull it through 2 more loops. So then this brown one here stays on our hook. So we want to skip this first one, go through the second one, and then close it up. Okay? Now we want to take it and we want to turn it around. And we want to do the same thing with our chain on this side. So remember, we want to skip this first one, which would be the brown one, and we want to go into that black one there. So it's the second teardrop, like that. And then we want to take our bands. We want to pull it through that band that was off our chain, plus 2 that are on our hook. Skip the first one, go through the middle one there, and then close it up. So now we just added 2 links, or 2 bands from our chain. So this is what you should have. Okay, so if you're going to add beads, this will be the time that we're going to add a bead to the center. Obviously, you do not have to add a bead. Excuse me. The easiest way that I see is to just stick another hook through to capture these 4 bands on the right here. And then we're going to pull those off our hook and turn it to the side. We put our beaded band on our hooks. I'm going to hold this right side in place so I can work with the left side. So I'm going to make sure that that beaded band end is in my hook, and I want to slide the first 2 loops over that band there. Okay, so I'm done with my left side. Now I want to hold my left side and I want to work with the right. So I want to make sure that this band here stays in that groove there, and I want to pull the first 2 bands over my hook, just like that. And then I want to take my dominant hook, which I'm left-handed, so I want to take this and stick it back through that black band and the remaining 2 loops back here, and then take this hook out. And then make sure all your loops are in order, and there's your first bead. Okay, so then we just start the process over. This beginning part, this is just the standard 8 loop setup, so we're not going to do that again, but we are going to continue grabbing loops through our chain. Okay, so the next loop in line for me is the brown one, because I did mine every other color. So you want to go down through the center and grab that band there. This time I'm going to use a gold band. So I'm going to pull it through the band that I pulled off my chain, and then through 2 loops, and then that beaded band is left on my hook. So I'm going to skip the first one, pick up the second, and then close it up like that. Okay? And then I want to scoot this along, and then we want to turn this over, and we want to repeat on this side here. So again, it's my brown loop, the next one in line. I want to dig down in there and grab that one. And then I want to take my new band, pull it through the one through the chain, and then pull it through the next 2 loops. Skip this first one, pick up that second one, and then close it up like that. So you should have 3 loops on both sides, and then your beaded band. So now what we want to do is we want to do an every other bead if you're using beads. Okay, so we want to pull a clear band or another band, just a plain band, not a beaded band, through the center 4 loops there. So it will be your beaded band, and then in my case it's these 2 gold bands. Okay, so I want to take this band and I want to pull it through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops. And I want to leave these remaining 2 on my hook. Okay. Now I want to skip the black one and the gold one, pick up the last two, and then reclose that brown band. But now I want to take these last two and pull them over to the end, so then that brown band ends up in the center, like that. So you should have 2 loops on both sides and then that center band there. So then again, we want to go back through our chain. This time it's the black loop for me. So I go down in the center of that teardrop and grab that band. And since I'm doing every other color, I'm going to grab this gold and pull it through the loop on my chain, the first 2 loops. Skip this one, pick up this center one, and then close it up. And I want to slide it on down, turn this around, and do the same thing on this side here. So again, I go into the next teardrop, and it's the black loop for me. Dig that out, pull a band through that loop, and then 2 loops on my hook. Skip the first one, excuse me, recapture the center, and then close it up like that. Okay, so we have these 3 bands on both sides of this center band. So now it's the time that we want to add a beaded band, since we added a plain band last time. So then I want to grab my other hook, and I want to put loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, and loop 4 on this hook here. And then I want to slide my left hook out and turn it to the side here to play with. Okay, so then we want to grab our beaded band, and we want to put it on both ends of our hook. So I'm going to hold this right side in my hand so I can work with the left and pull that beaded band through, excuse me, so it's resting in that hook, and I'm going to hold it tightly, and then I'm going to pull it through first 2 loops on that left side there. Hold this side in my hand, and now I want to place that one in the groove, and I want to pull the first 2 loops on this side through like that. So that's what you should have. So then I want to recapture to put everything on my dominant hook, which is my left side, and then take this right side out, or right hook out. So then everything should be adding up on both sides of your bead. You have your beaded band, and then you have 2 bands there. Okay, so then again, we want to go through the next link on our chain. So in my case, it's going to be the brown. And then I want to add the glitter gold when I pull brown. So I'm going through that loop, the next loop, the 3rd loop. Skip the first, recapture the middle one there, and then close it up. I want to push this down, turn it around. And then I want to do the same on this side. So I want to pull in and grab in between that teardrop my brown band. Then I want to add my glitter gold through that one, the first 2 loops. Skip the first, pick up the center, and then close it up. Okay? So just remember, whenever you have the beaded band on the center loop, that's when we're just going to add a plain band. So my plain band is always my brown. Excuse me. And whenever we're adding a middle band, we're always adding it to 4 loops in the center. So then we'll have 2 loops on the outside. So I'm going to pull this band, get all these down there, through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. When I pull it through 5 loops, that leaves 2 loops on the end. I want to skip these 2, recapture these last 2 and close it up, and then take these last 2 and pull them over that brown band there. So then it ends up in the center, and then rearrange so they're in order. Okay, so then now it's time to go back through my chain. This time I grab my black band, like that, and when I pull a black band, that's when I'm pulling a gold band through. So through the first 3 there, pick up the center, close it up. And then I want to do the same on this side. And it is important that you're doing it, you're pulling it, your chains straight. So you see you're always pulling from that side. So then I want to go through this part of my chain and pull in that black one, put it on my hook, grab my gold band, pulling it through that loop on the chain and the first 2 loops on my hook. Skip the first one, recapture the second, and close it up. Like that. Kind of looks leopardy, huh? All right. This is the time that we're going to add a bead. So I'm going to take my second hook, recapture these 4 loops, and take my left hook out of them. Turn it to the side here. And then add my beaded band. Like that. So I'm going to hold on to that right side, work with the left. And I want to pull the first 2 loops on top over. Hold on to my left. Now work through my right. And pull the first 2 loops over like that. And then recapture everything onto my dominant hook. Take that right hook out. Like so. So this is what you should have. Super cool design. I'm loving it. I think it's a genius idea. Pretty smart. All right, I'll do one more with you, and then I have to get some work done. I'll come back. All right, so we're going through that next loop and line. Our next teardrop. So mine should be the brown band. Sometimes they are a little challenging to pull up. All right, so when I'm doing brown, I'm doing glitter gold. So going through 1, 2, 3, capturing the center one, close it up. Sliding on down to the next, the other end, and doing the same. Recapturing that band, pulling it through 1, 2, 3, recapture the center one, close it up. And because we have a beaded band in the center, now we know it's time to add a plain band to the center. So we take our band and we want to pull it through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops, leaving 2 on the left. And then we want to recapture the last 2 and close it up. And then take your last 2 over that brown one so it goes into the center. Like so. And then we just start the process all over again. So then we come into this side, grab that band, and then we pull a band through the first 3, recapture the center, close it up, push it down to the other's end, and do the same. Grab that band in there, and then pull our clean band through the first 3, skip 1, pick up the center one, close it up. And because we have the plain band in the center, we know it's going to be time to add our beaded band. So then I want to take my hook, recapture these 4 bands over here onto it, slide out my left hook, like this, and then grab my beaded band, add it to both ends of the hooks. Okay, so I want to work through my left side first, so that I'm pulling the first 2 bands over top. Now I want to work through my right hook and pulling the first 2 bands over that beaded band, and put everything back onto my dominant hook like a boss. All right, this is what you should have. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so if you need further instruction, just please feel free to rewind, and we're going to work that all the way up, same stitch, to the end of our links in our chains. Once we get to the end there, then we will meet back. Probably, you know, like the last link, we'll work that one together so we can close it up. All right, so I've reached the top, and this is what mine looks like. I love it. It's like a animal print. Looks pretty neat. So I'm gonna admit I probably should have put another band first, like chained 1, and then started through my chain. That's how Loomer from Norway had hers, and I don't, so I'm gonna have to finish mine a little bit in a different way. But the first thing I'm gonna do, because right here I have my beaded band, I'm gonna go ahead and put that center band to capture these 4 middle ones here. So I'm gonna take my brown and I'm gonna pull it through everything but the last loop, and then recapture like that. And then because I don't have a band on the end, I'm just gonna put those ends back on my hook. Like that. Okay, and then if you look at the end here, I have a brown band, that's my cap band, and then I have 2 black bands that are right there. Okay, so I want to use another black band so it matches. So let me grab 2 of those. And I'm just going to pull my black band through my chain. The next band, the next, like these 3 right here. So the chain, this band, and then this brown band here. And then I'm going to close that up. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn it around, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This is how you fix boo-boos. So in essence, this right here will fix the fact that I didn't have an extra loop in my chain, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that finishes this end here. So if we go back to the beginning, where we have 2 C-clips and then our cap band, we just want to take this left side of this cap band and add it into this C-clip. Like that. And then do the same on this other side. The other side of the cap band, we'll put it into that C-clip. So then that'll give you a total of 3 bands in that C-clip. And then all we need to do is add these bands into it as well. So there's going to be 5 bands in your C-clip. So you're going to want to use a larger C-clip. That's only because I made a small boo-boo. And this is how I have to close mine up. But that's okay because the bracelet is gorgeous. I'll fix that up in a second. Okay, so then I take this end, and put these 2 bands in there. Like that. So there we have it. This is the ChriMar bracelet. Super awesome design. So proud of Loomer of Norway. You know, I started the whole chain designs, and Loomer of Norway and Margot from MS Loom have just taken it to another level, and I just smile, and I'm so thankful I get to do the tutorial, so I get to learn how to use integrate chains into different designs. So big shout out to Ingrid. You did a great job again. I super love it, and I hope you guys love it as well. So please make sure that you hashtag your renditions, hashtag CHRI for Christy and MAR for Margot on Instagram, to loomer.from.norway, and myself, Chodaro_Bling. Would love to see your integration of chains, bling, and bands. So I hope that you enjoyed making this bracelet, and we have some more designs coming up from the lovely Loomer from Norway, as well as a new and upcoming Loomer. We got one of her designs coming, and if you follow me, she was the winner for the Bling for Breast Cancer contest. So be looking for those. Thanks guys, see you next time. Bye bye.